Well, hello, and here I'm going to be talking about my suggestions for Codemasters F1 2014. First off, I want to talk about F1 2013. F1 2013, it's a very good game. They've brought strategies to a new level in particularly online in 25% races by having tyre scaling, so some races are one-stop races, some races are two-stop races on F1 2013, and that really does give you like a sense of immersion, or what, I don't know what it's called to be honest, but a sense a sense of like strategy element into particularly league racing. In league races, iRacing such as Formula Xbox, the Mountain League Reserves, and I really do enjoy that. So now the first thing I'm going to talk about for F1 2014, hopefully improvement, is the online. Codemasters, I think, have said that F1 2014 is like 99.9% confirmed to go to the next gen consoles. So online, first off, what I think should be done is you should be able to increase players in a lobby, but only in custom. Only in custom race. You should be able to have 22 players in a lobby, but not for sprint mode, because with sprint mode I find more players means more noobs. So in my opinion, I think that should only be done for custom races if that is implemented. Because I think it'll be a lot better, particularly for league races. For example, in Formula Xbox and the Mammal League, there are so many drivers wanting to join, but only 16 can join the main league, if you like. It's called Tier 1 in Formula Xbox. Only 16 people can join because of the limitations in how many players can join. I think if there were 22 players, then that would be absolutely brilliant. Is because there'd be a lot more players fighting, a lot more for position, a lot more like good drivers in, if you like. So, and it's not going to be like as easy to score a point, which I find it is a bit too easy in league races. So I think that would really be really useful for league races, and it would mean that not as much drivers would miss out on a place in the higher tier who were looking for a place. And secondly, on the online matter, to improve lag and reduce disconnections, because there have been a lot of problems with lag and disconnections on F1 2013, particularly for me. Speaking of that, I have got an Ethernet cable, because basically what I had before in like Formula Xbox Belgium was an Ethernet cable that connects to Airport Express, and that connected to another router which connects to the actual hub itself. But now, I haven't disconnected for the last two races in Formula Xbox, and what I'm thinking, obviously, what I think the reason is because we have brought a new Ethernet cable that connects from the Xbox directly to the hub. It's a long Ethernet cable because the hub is right on the other side of the house, of our house, to the Xbox, so it actually has to go through the ceiling. But I don't want to speak too soon. I don't want to say it's improved it just yet, because I don't really want to speak too soon, because you never know, there might have been two one-offs, but I'm optimistic at the moment about it, but I don't want to speak too soon, really. But having said that, I don't think my issues would have occurred if it was with F1 2012, because with F1 2012 had the same situation, in fact, not as good connection, and I only disconnected from a league race once. And I was league racing since April. I've been league racing since April, and that disconnection was actually because I disconnected from Xbox Live. So the game wasn't to blame there, so I think disconnections should be reduced in the next game. Like, they should have if they can't do anything to improve it, they should just get the online methods back from F1 2012. Because there was lag bubble, which has been fixed now, but it's better than like having someone's race end from no fault of their own. and also to improve lag, because it does cost people time. For example, in the Man League Preserves China, I could have caught Voracious Bloom, but he was lagging all over the place, which at points held me up and cost me a chance of second place in that race. And it does cost people lag. So in my opinion, I think that there's a lot of room for improvement in that. Hopefully the next gen consoles will have more. We'll obviously have more memory, but hopefully that will allow for less lag, and players can be in like the places that they actually are, rather than like controlled by an AI car on your screen for a second. Secondly, customizable cars. This is something I've been wanting to have in the Codemasters games since F1 2010 came out, because I think it would be really great to be able to have a system where you can basically mod the cars, not just on the PC version, but on the... I don't have the PC version of F1 2013, I did for F1 2010, but basically what I think should be done is maybe a similar situation to... Maybe a... What the hell was I saying there? Maybe a similar situation to Pro Evolution Soccer. Not saying that I play that game much, because FIFA is undoubtedly better, even though I barely ever play that either. But basically, I think what I think should be done is basically like a method on when putting the sponsor logos on the car on the players in Pro Evolution Soccer, where Codemasters release templates for each car, or you can model the car in maybe a Codemasters generated program, and then it can give you generate templates from the car, and then you should be able to like paint the car in Photoshop like you can in R-Factor, and then export it, and then maybe upload it to maybe RaceNet or something like that, and then import. And then you can import it via RaceNet to the game. I think that'd be really good, especially for league races. You'd be able to have your own teams in the league races, which I think would really add a lot more like teamwork to particularly league racing. Thirdly, there are many bugs in F1 2013 which should be sorted out. First off, the Phantom Car glitch. I think this is the worst bug in F1 2013. Basically, if some of you are unfamiliar with what it is, basically a player loses connection to another player in the lobby, but they don't disconnect from the game, and the way that their car is portrayed is just basically accelerating to anything, where it doesn't like try avoid it. And for example, with Stopmat 1998 in the Man League Preserves Hungary, a Phantom car took him out, cost him points, and I think that was really unfair. And I don't think that was the only incident where a Phantom car has taken someone out. It's Phantom. If you lose connection to another player, it shouldn't be like portrayed this way. Maybe it shouldn't show the player on track at all, or it should show the player's position, or maybe it should portray it as a ghosted AI car, or something like that. Because it's really unfair if you're like driving around, just driving normally, and then suddenly some car that's not even driven by anyone, even though Codemasters made it look like it's being driven by someone, takes you out. I think that's just really unfair. Fourthly, the safety car. I think it should be a lot harder, a lot easier to bring the safety car out. For example, if there's like debris on the track, like it's in real F1. Also, what I think would add a huge bit of immersion to the game. There'd be no way that there'd be enough memory for this on the current generation of consoles with PS3 and Xbox 360. But with the next gen consoles, they'll have more memory. What I think would add a lot more immersion to the game is if, while the safety car is out, it can show the crane, like maybe a crane towing a car away. It will also give you an indication of when the safety car is going to come in. Also, what to coincide with that, what would be very good is if it showed like the marshals running on the track to collect debris during a safety car period. I think that would really add a lot more immersion to the game. It would give you a lot more believable feel that you're actually in a real environment. And I think it would just give you more immersion. Well, I've repeated that many times. Fifthly, the damage. I think the damage on all the Codemasters games is a bit forgiving. Apart from you lose like a part of your front wing, you should be able to just... First off, I think punctures. Punctures should be a lot more easier to receive, like if you crash. And then, for example, if like a front wing touches like the back of your car, but obviously this can't be like too sensitive, because otherwise there might be some noob who hits you and they don't receive any damage, but you receive a puncture. But I think that would really add more realism to the game. Basically, if you just like in real F1, you can just touch a car and then you receive a puncture. I think that would really improve the game's elements. And secondly, on the damage, front wing tucked under the car. I think there should be a way of the front wing being tucked under the car. For example, that would be. For example, you can hit someone and then front wing tucks under your car and then you can't do anything but hit the barrier. Obviously, if damage is on like reduce, then they shouldn't implement that. But for damage simulation on full, that would really. It would also give an indication to more erratic drivers not to like slam into the back of someone and lose their front wing, because then the front wing can get tucked onto their car. They can't do anything but hit the barrier. And the next thing I want to pick up on is replays. I think Codemasters should implement a similar system to what rFactor does, where you can basically load a replay. It automatically saves replays online and in single player. You can load it and view anyone you want, any driver you want, and then you can move the camera wherever you want, like you can in rFactor, and that would really help. For example, in Formula Xbox, for the highlights videos, Jurassic Midget has to ask like the drivers for the footage. Well, I think it would be so much simpler if you could just simply find the driver you want to view and then show the footage, or show a particular instance in the race. That would just be a lot easier in terms of highlights videos. The seventh thing I want to pick up on is improved AI. I find career mode boring. I'm no way as interested in career mode as I used to be. The reason for this is the AI, if it's on the inside, it just breaks a lot earlier than you do, and that really makes it just too easy. Even on the highest difficulty, it's just too easy, the AI is. You can easily like dominate a race, and that's why I think the AI there's a lot of room for improvement. The eighth thing I want to see in the game is formation laps that really do a good job of building up the tension in like the lead up to a race, where you could basically like have time to think how you are going to take a race during the formation lap. Similar situation with a safety car. I think that could even be implemented with the current gen consoles. I think that would be really good, because it would really build up the tension to the race and give you a lot more immersion to the game. Final thing, going back to like importing liveries from PC. If these liveries were to be used online, what they should do is have a similar situation to what rFactor 2 has, where you can it basically downloads the skins from the lobby, and then you'll be able to see that livery. But that's it from me. I hope some of these suggestions, probably most of these, won't be in the game. Most of these I doubt will be in the game, but hopefully some of these will. And I'll see you for my next video.